He stepped onto the porch holding a mug of coffee. A smile stretched across his face, but never touching his eyes. The screen door groaned shut behind him. My son inched closer, his small fingers finding the bend of my arm like muscle memory. "Just so you know," the new husband said brightly, "we're filing to cut down your custody. The kids want to stay here more." My son looked up at me, his whisper brushing against my sleeve. "That's not true." The man's grin sharpened. "They'll say whatever we tell them." I didn't reply. My eyes drifted past him into the hallway, where a family photo had replaced the one I used to know. My own smile slipped away like a stain being wiped clean. I drew in 3 steady breaths. Then I gave him a small, forgettable smile, like I just remembered to pick up milk, and said, "Thanks." After that, I walked my kids to the car. I drove in silence. No music, just their voices spilling into quiet. They told me what they'd drawn at school, how the cat at their mom's tore the couch, how my daughter had a bruise on her shin. Not one word about preferring life there. At a red light, my son asked, "Are we in trouble?" "No," I told him. "We're going to be okay." When their mother and I first met, she said she loved my steadiness, said I was the one she could lean on, the one who never flinched. Back then it was a promise. Later, it became her complaint. "You don't feel anything," she said, when what she meant was I wouldn't take the bait. Her new husband called himself a problem solver. He solved my absence from photos. He solved my presence at pickups with jokes only he laughed at. Most of all, he solved the narrative, painting me as outdated, inconvenient, an obstacle to be removed. The changes came in small ways. The kids started using words that weren't theirs: stability, routine, safe. They recited schedules like lines in a play. Once, my son said, "We should tell Mom we don't like driving so much," as though it were a note passed down. Their therapist, chose and scheduled and paid for entirely on their side, sent back summaries that read like corporate reports. The children are thriving under the new structure. My daughter's teacher raised a concern I'd never heard before. She told me gently. She says, "Daddy doesn't listen." The apology was already in her eyes. Then came the text, "We'll be filing for modification. Don't fight this. Be mature." That day, I stacked everything neatly on my desk. Receipts, attendance slips, photos from Wednesday dinners, notes my son had slipped under his pillow, a drawing of our backyard, stick figures of us holding hands, voicemails, calendars, the parenting app showing their fabricated complaints. I wasn't angry. I was occupied. I made 3 calls. One to my attorney, calm, detailed, expensive. One to the school, polite, recorded, citing rights I still had. One to the pediatrician, factual, requesting records, noting insurance changes and who had signed what. Then I opened a document and wrote. No flourishes, just dates, times, names. Every detail aligned in a clean column. When I finished, I set my phone down and pressed record, not to catch a confession. I didn't need one. I wanted my son's voice as he talked about the dog we fostered, how it slept on his feet and kept nightmares away. I asked him simple questions. "What do you like about Tuesdays? What happens when you tell Mom you want more time here?" No leading, no coaching. Just space for him to answer, his small hands moving, his voice steady. By midnight, I filed an emergency motion. Not dramatic, just precise. A request for a temporary order. No third-party interference. Appointment of a guardian ad litem. Structured communication to the parenting app only. I attached exhibits. School records, pediatrician notes, and the text where he promised to script their words. I sent a preservation letter addressed to the new husband. Do not delete messages. Do not wipe electronics. Do not coach minors. Spoliation is a word men like him don't learn until it's too late. Couriered packets went out before dawn. One to his address. One to school, reminding them of my equal rights and halting any custody interviews without me present. Another to the therapist, a subpoena demanding notes, payments, and records. A fourth to the judge's clerk. Proof of my involvement, logs of hours, responsibilities. Boring, yes. Heavy, yes. Then I slept. At 7:42 a.m., I parked across from their house, 2 minutes before pickup. The air smelled of wet grass and paper. He shuffled to the mailbox, phone in hand, still pretending I was late to my own life. The courier envelope sat atop junk mail, crisp and official. He tore it open on the curb. His face changed instantly. The light drained, the smile collapsed. Paper humiliates faster than fists. He reread the letter, stumbled over the Latin, but understood the weight. He checked his phone. No help yet. When he looked up and saw me waiting, he tried to rebuild a grin, but it shook at the edges. The door opened. My daughter spotted me and ran, as if she remembered how. My son followed, backpack half-zipped, a crumpled drawing sticking out. They climbed in the car. He stood on the porch with the letter, voice straining. "We can talk about this." "Through the app," I said, "like the order requires." "There isn't an order yet," he snapped. "There will be by noon." I let it hang. "And you won't speak to my children about court again." He squinted, trying to find a trigger in my face. "You think the judge cares? You think your little diary means anything?" I met my son's eyes in the rear view. He looked back, steady. "I think," I said, "the judge will listen to the parent who doesn't use their kids as props." At school, the secretary had my letter on her desk, bright as a warning sign. She gave me a nod heavy with relief. At work, I dialed into the emergency hearing from a conference room and listened as my attorney laid out the skeleton of our case. No drama, just structure. By afternoon, the order was signed. No coaching, no interference. Exchanges at the police station if needed. A guardian ad litem appointed. All interviews with both parents present. The custody modification request put on hold until full evaluation. That evening, he sent a message through the app. Polite, careful, learning a new vocabulary. He asked if we could keep the kids out of it. I agreed and saved the message. Later, after dinner, my son handed me the wrinkled drawing. Us in the backyard again. 2 stick figures, the dog between us. All smiling crooked. "I didn't forget," he said. "I know," I told him. "People think revenge is loud. It isn't. It's a paper trail. It's patience woven into a net. It's the moment a man checks his mailbox and finds his own lies printed in black and white, with my name spelled correctly at the bottom.